Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics, King He-Man! That's right, this figure portrays He-Man as he might appear in the future as the ruler of Eternia. It's a figure that I personally never even thought would be a possibility, but it's definitely an interesting concept. This particular figure is the Eternian Collectors Club subscription bonus figure, so only those who subscribed for 2013 will be receiving him. The figure comes in the standard Masters of the Universe Classics blister card packaging, but there is one difference that we've not seen before. The sticker on the blister bubble is a logo for Hero, Son of He-Man. For those of you who are not aware, Hero, Son of He-Man was a proposed cartoon from Filmation that never took off. It was going to take place after the original Filmation cartoon, where He-Man was now king and married to Teela, and their son Dare now uses the power of Grayskull to become Hero. So this sticker here is a pretty cool nod to that. The back of the package shows off a selection of other figures available in the Classics line, and offers up a new bio for King He-Man, which also mentions some of those Son of He-Man story elements. Oh, by the way, King He-Man will be coming with a new mini-comic, but once again Mattel has removed the comic before sending me the sample, so no comic spoilers, guys. Sorry. So let's go ahead and take a look at this figure outside of the packaging. I'll say up front that I have pretty mixed feelings on this one, so let's get right into it. We'll start off by taking a look at his head sculpt. He-Man has obviously been through a lot in his lifetime, and his face is quite worn to show it. His hair is longer now, with some gray streaks mixed in with his once blonde locks. He also sports a mighty beard, similar to his father Randor. And atop his head sits a golden crown. So he definitely has that strong, wise ruler look. But as you can see, there's also some scarring from his years of battling Skeletor. You can see that He-Man now has a nasty scar across his left eye. Also, his lower lip seems to be drooping a bit. I assume that must be a result of that same scar seen on the left side of his face, but I have to admit, that drooping lip is a bit off-putting. But overall, I will say the head sculpt is good on this one, but I do have another issue with it. When you compare this new head to the standard He-Man figure, they don't really have a lot in common. While the King He-Man head is good on its own, side by side with the standard He-Man figure shows that they are a little too different from one another. King He-Man has a more slender head, and even his eyes don't seem to match up. I sort of wish there were more in common between these two sculpts, since it's the same person, just aged. The rest of his outfit has a lot going on as well. And I mean a lot. He's very colorful, sporting blue, red, silver, and a very shiny gold. While the whole look is a little busy, what I do really like about it are the obvious nods to the past great men of Eternia. The armor, loincloth, and boots are obvious nods to the original hero. He's now sporting a cape with some fur on it at the collar, similar to King Grayskull. He's also chosen the color blue for the cape, just like his father Randor. In addition, the cross on his chest and the staff are also obvious nods to King Randor. But there's still some He-Man in there as well. That design on the armor is shaped like the power harness he once sported, which is a really nice detail. Alrighty guys, so let's take a closer look at the mighty King He-Man. So, articulation, standard for this guy of course. One thing though is he's got this really big blue cape in the back. It's just like all the other capes we've seen in the Masters Classics line. So it's flexible, you can bend it around, you can move it. It's not really going to get in the way of any of the articulation or anything like that. So head is able to move left and right. The hair kind of rubs the fur just a little bit, but as you can see, still turn the head just fine. Moves up and down. The Tops of the crown are very, very soft. I would be really careful. I would not wiggle those around a lot because I'd be afraid that you might snap the little balls off because as you can see, they are very, very flexible little pieces of plastic up there. Same type of joints, ball joints on the shoulders there, so you can move the arms around. You got the swivels at the biceps. You got the standard joint at the elbow. You got the swivel at the wrist. All of this articulation, by the way, incredibly tight, which is really nice. So you got the standard ab crunch there, you got the waist swivel, you got the hinges at the thighs there, so the legs can move outwards, they can move forwards really well, so you can get them in a nice sitting position. The loincloth is nice and flexible. Standard knee joints there, you got the swivels at the boot cuts, and then you got the ankle joints, and of course no ankle pin is showing, which is really nice, and the ankle articulation is very tight on this guy. So great articulation all the way around, it isn't hindered, it's nice and sturdy. And with the cape, we'll actually show you how this works. It's actually attached to his armor. So it's not a separate cape that's can attach. It is glued, it appears. It's definitely a separate piece from the armor, but it's all glued onto the back of the armor. So you're not going to be able to pull the cape off without actually removing all that glue. So the armor just takes off just like all of the other armor pieces we've seen. You can just pop it off of the little joints there, the little pegs, and you can pull it off. And then as you can see, it's all one solid piece. The cape is just attached to the back, so the cape comes off with the armor. Now, when you remove the armor and the cape, this leaves behind something a little interesting, something a little different. You will notice that He-Man is sporting a pretty sweet metallic gold wife beater. I don't know why. He's got the abs still showing and everything, so he doesn't have the flat abs, but he does have this gold wife beater thing painted on. Normally we see like the full torso painted, but for whatever reason, I guess Mattel decided that he needed to be wearing a wife beater. He actually kind of looks like he's ready for a wrestling match. He's like Hulk Hogan combined with Macho King Randy Savage. He's like King Mega Powers. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. What you gonna do, brother? Yeah, so there you go. Gold wife beater, that's, I don't know. I don't really care for that too much. So I will definitely be leaving the armor on this guy. But there you go, guys. King He-Man. King Mega Powers. Ooh, yeah.
King He-Man also includes 2 accessories. First up is that staff. It's a new staff, but it is very reminiscent of the one that Randor carried. It's made of a very sturdy plastic and is painted with that same shiny gold and red. This accessory really helps to complete that overall kingly look for He-Man. His second accessory is my favorite part of this figure. He includes the electronic power sword, which, as you can see, has seen some serious battle by this point in time. Since Dare now holds the real power sword, He-Man has pulled this version out of retirement for one final battle. There is an amazing amount of detail in this accessory. There are lots of dents, scrapes, and even chunks missing out of it. The handle now appears to be a piece of bone taped to the hilt, and the rusty paint job really brings out all of that amazing sculpted detail. This is just a really great additional accessory. So there you go, guys, a look at King He-Man, the future ruler of Eternia. As I said in the beginning, I actually have mixed feelings on this one. Overall, I think it is a nice figure, but I'm just not so sure about that outfit. I kind of wish he had a red cape instead of the blue, because when I think of He-Man wearing a cape, I always think of the live-action movie, and there he had a red one. So this blue just sort of throws me off because of that, but I guess that's nothing more than a personal preference. I understand why He-Man may have chosen the blue one, as it was the color his father wore after all. Still, this figure definitely works well as a subscription bonus. It's probably not a figure that can be considered a must-have by everyone, and that's why I think it's perfect as a bonus. Plus, he'll come with a mini-comic, and that beat-up power sword is just awesome. King He-Man will be shipping out in March for those who are part of the 2013 Club Eternia subscription. Until next time,